so far we learned listening by rote, okay, words. Then we learned about string instruments and where they came from. And then we learned how to play the guitar chords, which was great. You worked really hard at that. Now we're going to put the rote and the guitar chords together, and then we'll sprinkle some words on top of it. So we learned 3 chords, okay? The 1 chord, the 4 chord, and the 5 chord, which secretly was the G chord, the C chord, and the D7 chord. These are just main chords of music. When we have a G major scale, G is it's the 1 chord's first note of the scale. C is the 4 chord, it's the 4th note of the scale, so that's why we call it the 4th chord. And D is the 5th note of the scale in that key, so that's why we call it the 5 chord. But the 5-7 chord is sounds a little different. This is a 5 chord. 5-7 has an extra note in there. It's a little more fun. So we learned that, which was awesome. But can you pick those chords out in a crowd? Do you know that this is a G chord? It is, my friends, it is. Do you know that this is a C chord? And do you know this is a D7 chord? So the chorus of the song that we're learning about is called Old Dan Tucker. And the chorus goes like this. Get out the way, old Dan Tucker. Get out the way, old Dan Tucker. Get out the way, old Dan Tucker. You're too late to get your supper. It's kind of fun when you sing it in a funny way. You don't have to sound pretty. You can be like whatever about it. It's just average people singing around about this guy named Old Dan Tucker. He's this goofball that everyone wants to get him out of town or get him out of their way because he's late or dumb about something. So we sing it again to get it in your head. And it's the chorus. The main purpose is get this guy out of our way. His name's Old Dan Tucker. That's pretty much it. Here we go. Get out the way, old Dan Tucker. Get out the way, old Dan Tucker. Get out the way, old Dan Tucker. You're too late to get your supper. Now could you hear the chord progression change? So this is a G. Get out the way, old Dan Tucker. Get out the way, old Dan Tucker. Get out the way, old Dan Tucker. You're too late to get your supper. You're not sure yet? Try it again, just listen. Get out the way, old Dan Tucker. Old Dan Tucker. Old Dan Tucker, you're too late to get your supper. Could you figure it out? Pretty much it's going to be like this. 2 G's. Get out the way. 2 C's. D7. G. Tucker. G. C. D. And G. Wait. Imagine that. We've been practicing that way because it sounds normal to practice in that way. When you practice different patterns, it kind of sounded kind of wonky, right? But when you practice the G, C, D7 back to G, there's a reason our brains are like, that sounds right, that sounds good, because it goes from the first note of the scale G, and it goes to the 4th note of the scale C. And then the 5th note of the scale G. These are all the major chords in the key of G. So it progressively goes in this circle of major chords. There's no minor chords in it. It's just all happy major chords, even though it's a song about getting this guy out of your way. It's a happy song. It's a goofball song. So we're going to learn about how to play that just 2 times each. G, C, D, and G. And they would just do that over and again for the chorus, and then everyone could sing along and play it if they wanted to. But the tricky thing was the verses. The verses is different than the chorus. The verses tell the story. So when we are telling a story, we have to be a little bit more descriptive. We have to make sure we're singing something that is going to have a beginning, middle, and end. So this song It's about Old Dan Tucker. I'm sorry, as I'm trying to get this organized here. Get a little bigger for me because verses are tricky. They're hard to remember, so I'm putting it on over here. And it's also going to be on the board for you. So it goes like this. You guys come in on the chorus. Sing what's on the board. Come to town the other night, I heard a noise and saw a fright. Watchman come a running around, said old Dan Tucker's come to town. So get out the way, old Dan Tucker, get out the way. Old Dan Tucker, get out the way. Old Dan Tucker, you're too late to get your supper. And next one. Old Dan Tucker come to town, riding a billy goat, leading a hound. Poundy barked, the billy goat jumped. Dan fell off and landed on a stump. So get out the way, old Dan Tucker, get out the way. Old Dan Tucker, get out the way. Old Dan Tucker, you're too late to get your supper. Next verse. Old Dan Tucker was a fine old man. He washed his face in a frying pan, cut his hair in a wagon wheel, died with a toothache in his heel. So get out the way, old Dan Tucker, get out the way, old Dan Tucker, get out the way, old Dan Tucker, you're too late to get your supper. So what else? So he just kind of died with a toothache in his heel, and then there's another verse. So let's figure out what happens tonight. Old Dan Tucker back to town, came back into life, swinging the ladies all around. First to the right, and then to the left. Then he kissed the gal he loves best. So the men are not happy, so they're telling this zombie old Dan Tucker to, what everyone? Really loudly, thank you. Get out the way, old Dan Tucker, get out the way, old Dan Tucker, get out the way, old Dan Tucker, you're too late to get your supper. And let me sing that again. Get out the way, old Dan Tucker, get out the way, old Dan Tucker, get out the way, old Dan Tucker, you're too late to get your supper. That's it. That's the folk song. So hopefully we learned how to sing and play, and we're going to try to do it now without the video.